Welcome back to AKMTB. Yesterday I was changing the transmission fluid on my Jeep CJ and added a new filter at the same time. The reason why I did that is because I had this classic Jeep thing, which I think is a classic Jeep thing, which is the hard clunking when you shift from first to second, mostly in the manual. And especially when you're kind of like flooring it. Well, first of all, transmissions in Jeeps are not really made to be used in that way, but I want to figure out if this transmission stop slip could help improve my shifting performance. I recently tried out the Lucas transmission fix in my Jeep Cherokee, the XJ, and that kind of made a difference. It improved the shifting quality and not in a very distinct way. It was more diffuse. And therefore I decided this time I'm gonna try Rislone. Rislone. I always call this Rislone, but it's Rislone. This is their high kilometer formula transmission stop slip with leak repair. It eliminates slipping, repairs hard shifting, stop fluid loss, and it's guaranteed no slipping with smoother shifting. Used in automatic and manual transmissions. It works with all domestic import, regular 3-speed overdrive, 4, 5 and 6-speed automatic manual, used with all front wheel, rear wheel drive, all-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. It's a special blend of viscosity improvement, anti-wear friction modifiers and extreme pressure performance additives to solve most transmissions problems. Excellent to use a preventative maintenance product used to top off existing fluid or add the bottle when changing fluid. So, you basically pour this into your fluid. There's instructions on it, but it's not any rocket science. There's basically 1 liter of fluid in this, which is equals to 32 ounces. That's a close-up on the bottle. It looks like that. And this one cost more than the Lucas. But I thought, yeah, let's try it. Let's see how it works. And it's made in US, just like the Lucas. So, next thing now is that I'm gonna open up this, see how thick it is, so I could show you. I did that same with Lucas, and after that I'm gonna boil this bottle, because if it is as thick as the Lucas, it was really pain in the to get into the transmission. So hopefully this is easier. Otherwise I'm gonna heat it up, and which probably gonna make it pour in better. Let's see how thick it is. It's definitely not as thick as the Lucas. I think this is probably gonna be easier to get in, but I'm gonna heat it up anyway. In one way, I'm glad that it's not as thick as the Lucas, because the Lucas was pain in the butt. Link in that will be in the description as well, so check that out. In order to get your fluid out on the CJ, you need to use a pump and put that pipe down in the transmission dipstick, because there's no drain plug on the standard CJ. So perhaps you should do this when you're changing the fluid as well, then you don't need to pump it up. Otherwise you could just use the pump. Remove the dipstick. Now you take your hose and stick it down and feed this all the way down. That's it. And now you could just pump out the oil. I have an old oil container that I'm gonna fill up. This is on 1 liter, and that is equal to the amount that is in the transmission fix. So just pump it up, start pumping it, and put this in a good position. That's it. Now I have all the fluid out. And I put a funnel here and I zip tied it, and I put a hose that goes to the transmission, and now I'm just gonna fill up the funnel and just leave it here to pour down. All the fluid is out now. I'm just gonna leave it like this. That's great. Now I'm just gonna wait for it to pour all the way down, because there is gonna be some oil left in the hose. Then it has to rinse all the way down in your transmission pan. And I think I'm gonna start the engine as well, because it kind of said that you should pour it down and start the engine. It says add existing transmission, add to existing transmission fluid while idling. Do not overfill. I think it's fine to do it when it's off. The reason I do that is so I could talk at the same time. Otherwise, you wouldn't hear me very good. So I'm Corona. So I'm doing this for you. Anyway, now I'm gonna start it up and let it idle, and it will go down. And I'm also gonna get something to drink because my voice is weird now. Yeah, and by the way, this Jeep sounds pretty good when you start it up. So I'm gonna let you hear that. Now I'm going to let this idle for about 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna check the fluid level, because you're checking the fluid level when it's warm. And while it's warming up for about 15 minutes, I'm also gonna like move the shifter throughout the different modes. Now while idling, I start by putting it in reverse. Go to neutral. Put it in drive, let it be there while I'm holding the brake, releasing the brake a little bit, go down into second, first, second, back to neutral, reverse, parking, and then I'm just cycling through like this, and this makes sure that there's fluid moving around in the transmission. I'm going to let the engine idle for about 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna remove my hose and check the readings on the fluid and to see where it is. I think I could remove the funnel now and take a first reading. So now it's time to take the reading. So make sure that you dry up off your funnel dipstick, and then put the dipstick down and leave it down there for a couple of seconds so that you're really getting the oil level correctly. And now pull it out. It's time for the moment of truth. I'm gonna take the Jeep for a small drive, see if there is any noticeable differences in my shifting performances. And I'm also going to the gas station because, yeah, if you drive a Jeep, you know that they like gasoline. First impression when putting in the reverse, soft as it should be, neutral, into the drive mode went pretty smooth. It should shift like now. From the drive into first, that was smooth. But it's kind of always been pretty smooth when doing that like that. It's more like when I'm flooring it and stuff like that, and it could be a little bit hard. But as I mentioned before in the XA video, maybe that's a Jeep thing, because all my Jeeps have been like that. But then as well, most of my Jeeps have been pretty old, so that could also be like a Jeep thing, that it's a problem that old Jeeps got. So, but at the moment now it's very smooth. I have the overdrive off. It's shift smooth. I'm gonna put it into second now. That went smooth. Didn't really notice, did it? And now I'm gonna put it into first. Well, more noticeable. Floor it and shift, and that was also pretty smooth. I must say, so far I'm a little bit surprised. Maybe this Rislone, as it's called, is actually working. But well, I'm gonna drive it a little bit more. But this is at least my first impression. I'm gonna put it into second. And now when I'm going into second, it goes down really smooth. I'm gonna go to first, and that's also pretty smooth. And when I floored it now and shifting from first into second, that was probably one of the smoothest ones I ever had. And that's a pretty cool thing, actually. Compared to the Lucas transmission fix, I kind of noticing a big difference in this transmission. But it would probably not be fair. I'm gonna floor it again. That is good shifts. It wouldn't be fair to say that Lucas is not working, because I put the Lucas fix in another Jeep, another transmission, on an XA, so it made a difference in that one. Anyway, let's go down to second and see how it shifts. That is very smooth. And now I'm gonna go down to first. You get that movement from when it slows down the car. But the shifting is very smooth. It's like almost buttery smooth. I'm gonna do that again. Now it should go down in first. Here it comes. Let's floor it. I'm impressed. I'm gonna kick down it, floor it in the bottom. Well, I must say I'm definitely noticing a difference in the shifting performance. So it seems like the Rislone works well. At least it worked good in this Jeep. This video is about the Rislone transmission fluid additive, and my impression of that is that it works. It works really good, actually. That's what I would say. If you want to see more videos about the Jeep, click. You should probably look at the road when you're filming. If you want to see more videos about the Jeep and how to do stuff, click here. And if you want to subscribe, click up here. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. You can turn the camera off.